I've had bad headaches that I didn't know were actually migraines since I can remember.
So you've never really gone to a doctor for headache?
No.
Until...
No, I don't know why. It just seems
So you had it for
normal.
many, many years?
Yeah.
Migraines are the second most common type of primary headache. Approximately 30 million Americans suffer from migraine headache, but only about half of these people actually have been diagnosed as having migraine.
Migraine is a major public health problem, and it often goes unrecognized. In the United States, overall, about 10% of the population has migraine. From a practical point of view, migraine headaches, at least in a significant percentage of the people who have them, are intermittently disabling headaches. These are people who miss activities or children who miss school, and it's actually associated with school failure in more severe cases, or failure in life if you don't control your headaches. And a typical migraine patient would be someone who, from time to time, has to retreat from their activities into a dark, quiet place, lays down and wants to be left alone until the headache finally terminates.
I felt sorry for the people around me, especially my kids, because they really couldn't be noisy like kids normally are.
When I got them, I would usually be at least a full day in bed and throwing up.
Like overhead lights were incredibly painful to me, and they'd joke around that I was like Dracula or something, like I couldn't bear to have lights on.
I couldn't really work. It was hard to take care of the kids. It was hard to, you didn't feel like doing anything like shopping or any of the things that you need to do.
If you experience recurrent headaches with pain-free intervals, and those headaches significantly interfere with your ability to work, study, or enjoy life, you probably have migraine.
I have felt so bad with the pain of a headache that I wouldn't go to the emergency room because I couldn't handle a ride there, that I couldn't move.
Migraine is differentiated from tension-type headache by the symptom features. So migraine pain tends to be one-sided. Tension-type headache pain tends to occur on both sides. Migraine pain is throbbing. Tension-type headache pain tends to be a pressure pain. Migraine pain is made worse by physical activity like walking or climbing stairs. Tension-type headache pain is not. Migraine is always associated with something else: nausea, sensitivity to light and sound, or those visual displays that get called auras.
I used to see the spots in front of my eyes, and then hours later I'd be in bed with a debilitating headache. But
10 to 20% of people with migraine headache experience an aura. An aura consists of symptoms that usually occur prior to the headache pain.
Most migraine auras are visual, sometimes an enlarging black spot called a scotoma, which may have a jagged edge and may have flashing lights or wavy lines in it. Some people see stars or other complex forms. And this sort of phenomenon is often associated with more severe migraine attacks. The aura sometimes occurs with other kinds of headaches and leads to some confusion. So it's not strictly related to migraine, but it's usually thought of in association with migraine.
Another sensation that occurs in some people with migraine is allodynia. Allodynia is when stimuli that are not normally painful are felt as painful.
Like anything, like talking on the phone, even just putting the phone to my ear would hurt so much that, I just wouldn't pick up the phone or make a phone call. And I couldn't wear sunglasses, and yet it was like a kind of a catch-22 because the bright sunlight would also feel really painful.
Another interesting part of migraine is something that happens to some patients an hour or two into the attack. These are people who start getting very odd sensations. They may tell you that their hair hurts. They have to take off their earrings because they're too heavy, or they'll take off their necklace and their clothes because they're too irritating to the skin. It's a phenomenon that's received a lot of attention called cutaneous allodynia. And even though the patient senses that it's on their head or their neck or their shoulder, it's actually a central brain phenomenon. And once you get to the state where patients do have this central sensitization or cutaneous allodynia, where non-painful stimuli actually are painful, the headache is usually much harder to treat and is much more entrenched at that point.